Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Over here, we bring you lots of interesting Nollywood movies to be shown on recap, and today we're going to be reviewing this interesting movie that has to do with three sisters who are at war with each other. Let's begin. That's the king on his throne. His wife, the queen, is late. He has no son, but he has three daughters, and that's the last born, Naomi. She came in with one of the palace servants, Jerry, to introduce to her father as her boyfriend, which she wants to get married to. According to her, she came across him when she was grieving the death of her mother, the queen, and that was how they fell in love. The king asked that they kneel before him to receive his blessings. After that, they left together happily. The first daughter of the king drove in with her assumed boyfriend, Onyedika. She instructed the palace maid to make him comfortable. Meanwhile, Jerry was wondering why the king told him that he is going to make a great king and take after him. But Naomi made him to understand that the king is down with a deadly illness and he has just 6 months to live. But because he doesn't have a son, he wants one of his daughters to get married to a man from their kingdom so that he will automatically be crowned king after him. Between the three sisters, anyone that gets married first automatically takes over the kingship with her husband. The king is on the phone when his first daughter, Bella, came in. She said she has found someone she wants to marry and he is also from the kingdom. Her father was happy and said he wants to meet him. Bella left to go bring him in, but she couldn't find him anywhere, so she ordered Jerry as the palace servant to take 2 guards with him and look for her guest, Onyedika. Naomi walked in and told her sister not to order Jerry around anymore because he's no longer a palace servant but her husband-to-be. She took him and left, and Bella was surprised. Meanwhile, Nellie also brought Onyedika to show her father as the guy she wants to marry. Initially, Nellie has been the one dating Onyedika, but Belly drugged him and slept with him, and she's also trying to snatch him away from her sister. Her father accepted him, but stated that because it's going to be a royal marriage, it's going to take 2 months to plan and prepare for it. When Bella found out that Nellie has introduced Onyedika to the king, she became so angry and jealous. Jerry was summoned by one of the palace maids, Ndidi. They both are having something together, or it's safe to say they are in a relationship. Ndidi complained to Jerry that he has not been giving her attention lately, but Jerry told her that his mind is with someone else, and that is the princess. He told her that they are getting married and she was so devastated. She begged him to please not break up with her, but he pointed out her mistakes and used them as excuse to dump her. He knows that marrying the princess will give him right to the throne, so he left her crying and heartbroken. Bella is beating herself up, saying she would not allow her sister Naomi to marry Onyedika because she was the one that brought him to the palace. But her father was disappointed at her that despite being the first daughter, she behaves like a child. He made her understand that marriage is not forced, but rather it's a natural phenomenon. He told her to go get her own husband and stop brooding over her sister's man, but she kept on murmuring to herself about it. Naomi came to spend time with Jerry and he's telling her that he feels bad for hurting Ndidi. He narrated how he and Ndidi started. According to him, he met her when he was hurt from his past relationship and he clung to her, not because he loves her but because he was hurting. Princess Naomi told him that he shouldn't feel guilty about that because he's a good man and he made the right choice by choosing to be with her instead, so she promised to handle Ndidi herself. During that time, Princess Bella is seated at a bar, drinking away her life, all because of Onyedika. But a handsome young man approached her. He's called Azuka. He sat with her and they got acquainted to the point where she became so drunk. Azuka had to take her back to the palace and they ended up laying together in bed. Princess Naomi decided to have a mature conversation with Ndidi about Jerry. The princess offered her the sum of 2 million naira to forget about Jerry and use the money to move on with her life somewhere else, but she rejected the money from the princess with the excuse that the love she has for Jerry cannot be bought with money. However, Naomi was surprised at the audacity she has to drag a man with the princess. When the princess told Jerry about this, he left to confront her. During that time, she also told one of her maid friends about it, and she scolded her for rejecting such huge amounts all because of a man. But indeed it seemed nonchalant. Jerry showed up after a while and dragged her to the wall. He asked her reason for rejecting the money, and she said she isn't going back on her decision and she would rather die than allow another woman take him away from her. Jerry then told her that the implication of her rejecting that money means she will lose him, lose the money as well, and probably her job too. Few hours later, two of the palace maids rushed in to tell the king that indeed he has committed suicide. When the king asked them why, they couldn't explain, but they found a suicide note beside her. He read the note, but no reason was stated. One of the maids said someone broke her heart, and that could be the reason. The king then instructed them to tell the chief guard to prepare to take her corpse back to her parents and all the necessary compensation paid at once. Jerry has been thinking about what happened, but Princess Naomi told him not to beat himself up about it. Princess Bella and her newfound boyfriend Azuka woke up the next morning. The princess seemed satisfied with the sex they had. She then asked him what he feels for her, love or lust. Azuka made it clear that it was too early to start catching feelings, so he couldn't answer that question. The palace maids stood at a corner. They happened to know Ndidi so well. According to them, she can be adamant and stubborn, but not to the point of taking her own life. In other words, they believed she didn't commit suicide, rather, she was murdered by someone. Princess Bella knows that if she doesn't get a man to marry her as soon as possible, then she would risk losing the kingship inheritance from her father as the first daughter, so she proposed to Azuka herself. It came to him as a shock, but he later accepted and was excited to marry the princess. The king invited Jerry over for a brief talk. Jerry was nervous that the king may disqualify him from marrying the princess because of what happened to Ndidi. But surprisingly, the king said that if Jerry, is going to be the king, then he must learn to be empathetic when necessary, but not soft, because when a king is soft, he loses his grip and his emotions becloud his reality. After he gave him this advice, he left. Azuka brought Princess Bella to his mother's grave to propose to her. He said the last wish of his mother was for him to get married before his next birthday, so he wants her to witness it. Princess Bella accepted and told him that he is going to be the king after her father. Azuka was a bit confused, not until the princess said that among she and her sisters, whoever gets married first takes the kingship inheritance from the king when he passes. The king called a meeting hosting the Onowu, Princess Bella, Naomi and Nelly. He broke the bad news to them, which was that after the last test the doctor conducted on him, it turns out he has less than a month to live. Everyone was surprised and unhappy. However, he's happy that the three princesses have already gotten their potential kings, but only one will be selected, and whoever it is must be physically, mentally, psychologically, and medically fit. In other words, they are going to conduct series of tests on each of the three men to confirm the stability of their health status. Princess Naomi asked what becomes of the other princesses whose husbands don't qualify, but the king says they'll simply inherit part of his property and move in with their husbands. The king summoned the three men and broke the news to them, but he collapsed while they were still on the conversation. They quickly called the doctor and brought him to his room. After a while, the doctor arrived and attended to the king. The three men were gathered at the living room when the doctor came in and requested to collect their blood samples and semen to run tests on them. The king is surrounded by his daughters. He's apologizing that he is leaving them so soon. He also told them to promise him that they will all live in peace after his demise and not allow his enemies take over his kingdom. They were all in tears. Finally, the test results are out. Jerry was sad because he didn't qualify. It turns out he's a sickle cell patient. Princess Naomi was surprised because obviously he doesn't look it. As for Princess Bella and her fiancé Azuka, he didn't also qualify because he has a generational high blood pressure which he inherited from his mom, and that alone automatically disqualifies him. The princess was so angry at him for not saying anything earlier. Princess Nelly was worried that she already lost her mom few years back, and now if anything happens to her father the king, then she would become an orphan, and she doesn't want that. Onyedika then told her to drop her sentiments and focus on getting the throne before her sisters outsmarts them. Jerry is worried that he might lose the throne because of his health, but Princess Naomi told him not to worry, that she would handle everything. Meanwhile, Princess Bella is also plotting her own schemes. Every one of them is strategizing for the throne. While the Onowu was with the king, he received a call. When the king answered, he got the information that the doctor is dead. Onowu was dumbfounded. The king requested to see his daughters and their respective husbands so that he can bless them and choose his successor. He blessed them one after the other, starting from Princess Bella and her fiancé, Princess Nelly and her fiancé, and lastly, Princess Naomi and her fiancé. But while he was about to declare who his successor was going to be, he took his last breath and died on the spot. Naomi cried so loudly that the palace maids heard her voice and ran to help. She started drowning herself with cocaine, and when Jerry came in and tried to stop her, she brought out a gun and pointed at him. He was able to talk her down to dropping the gun. She was really hurting, so he consoled her. After the king's demise, Princess Bella assumed authority, though not as the king, but as the eldest daughter, at least until the elders decide who the king is going to be. Naomi walked in to threaten her to step down for her, but Bella swiftly ordered her out of her room. Princess Bella called her other sisters for a quick meeting to decide who is more qualified to assume the kingship with her husband, since the king was unable to decide who his successor is going to be before he died. Princess Nelly said she is more qualified because she was the first person to introduce a man to the king, but Naomi disagreed with her. Same with Bella, and they began to argue. They continued for a while before they deserted. The respective men who are supposed to be the potential kings are also engaging in physical fight with each other, and the palace guards are separating them. The Onowu and one of the elders cautioned them for choosing to fight instead of controlling the princesses who are currently at war with each other. Princess Naomi interrupted the elders' meeting with her quest to make her man king. She gave the elders 1 week to crown Jerry the king. Princess Nelly also spoke to the Onowu about crowning her own man the king. She also gave them 4 days to achieve this. Princess Bella's potential husband Azuka was struck with madness, and no one knows where or who it came from. The palace guards tied his hands and legs, and when Jerry came to find out what was going on, Bella gave him a sound slap and asked the guards to hold him down. She called out Princess Naomi, accusing her of what happened to Azuka, but Naomi said that madness isn't her signature and that if she wanted to go after him, he would be a dead man. After this happened, Princess Naomi didn't want her man to be harmed in any way, so she visited a native doctor to fortify herself and Jerry. Bella is talking with the Onowu, and she accused Nelly of being responsible for the sudden madness of her husband, and that she can prove it if given the opportunity. During that same period, Princess Nelly also came to a different native doctor for fortification. None of them wanted to be defeated by the other, so they were all getting ready and preparing themselves. Princess Bella came into Naomi's room. Her mission is to find evidence that proves that one of her sisters has a hand in the sudden madness of her boyfriend Azuka. She searched the closet and some of the drawers, and then found a tiny sachet that contains cocaine. That alone proves that Princess Naomi is into hard drugs. Bella wasn't aware of this, so she seemed surprised, but because that wasn't exactly the evidence she was hoping to find, she dropped it and left. She also entered Princess Nelly's room and searched everywhere thoroughly till she found a gun in the drawer. She never knew her sisters had the mind to do drugs and also carry weapons around. She went to the psychiatric hospital where she kept her boyfriend Azuka, but the doctor told her that a lady who claimed is her sister came to carry him, and when he called her number, he heard her voice giving them the go-ahead order to release Azuka to them. Bella suspected that it could be Nelly who did this, so she left to go and question her. That same period, Nelly and Onyedika were on their way home, but they were ambushed and Onyedika got kidnapped, but Nelly was able to escape. Nelly got home with fierce anger. She carried a gallon of fuel and called onto Princess Bella, and when she came out, she started accusing her of killing the doctor and abducting her boyfriend Azuka from the psychiatric hospital where she left him. Nelly said she has nothing to do with that, and as well, that doesn't give her the right to kidnap her own boyfriend Onyedika. Bella came down and told her to her face that she has nothing to do with the kidnap of her boyfriend. Nelly didn't believe her. Instead, she poured the fuel on Bella's car and threatened to set it ablaze if she doesn't tell her where she is keeping her man hostage. Bella wasn't afraid for a second. Rather, she broke the bottle she was holding and dared Nelly to try what she threatened to do if she's got the guts. Apparently, Naomi has been the mastermind behind all the tragedies that has been happening to her sisters. She woke Onyedika up and told him that he is standing in her way of becoming the next queen, but she made him an offer to follow the young lady standing with them, that she would smuggle him out of the country to Libya and everyone would be just fine. But he said he would do no such thing. He was confident because of the fortification he had undergone with Nelly, and when Naomi shot him, the bullet couldn't penetrate. He laughed and told her not to waste her time because they would soon take her down the way they took down the king's doctor. Naomi was surprised, but Onyedika remembered how the test results came out and it turned out that he has low sperm count, and he knew this could disqualify him from becoming the king, so they planned and killed the doctor and covered their tracks. Naomi saw that no object could harm him, so they decided to dig a grave and bury him and Azuka alive, all because of the throne. Bella and Nelly continued their fight. There has been no peace and quietness in the palace ever since, but while they were fighting, they didn't know that Princess Naomi already came back and narrated everything that Nelly and her man did to Onowu, and he brought the police to arrest the both of them. Princess Nelly and Jerry are rejoicing at the fact that they have gotten rid of all the obstacles in their way of assuming the throne. Eventually, the day of the coronation came. The villagers were dancing, and when they got into the palace, the Onowu asked him to kneel, but when he was about to pronounce him the king and place the crown on his head, the king's younger twin brother, Anthony, showed up and asked them to stop because that's his birthright. Princess Naomi was surprised that he was still alive because they never heard from him in years, so they assumed he was dead. Jerry ran and knelt before the Onowu, begging him to coronate him, but the Onowu refused and said he can't do that if the king's twin brother is still alive. Traditionally, he is the owner of the throne, so he brought out a gun and pointed at him to coronate him, or else he shoots. Naomi tried to talk him down, but he shut her up. He continued forcing the Onowu to do what he asked, but Ndidi appeared right before him. He was the only one that could see her because he was actually the one who killed her and no one knew about it. He confessed, and after that he tried to shoot her with his gun, but Ndidi ended up killing him instead. Princess Naomi rushed to save him, but everyone else ran away and left them there. She was later arrested by the police together with her sisters, and their uncle Anthony was later crowned the king after their father, and that's the end. Thanks for watching, and I hope you learned a lot from this recap. Before you go, subscribe to my channel and be ready for more recaps. Do well to leave your favorite movies in the comment section so we can show them on recap. See you on the next video.